My story is one that is built in everything that this program is. I was from the Weingart Urban YMCA and spent time with the Weingart East LA YMCA. And to truly appreciate my story is I think I need to tell you where that story had the journey was. I'm a former delegate of the Weingart Urban YMCA. I'm a former youth governing board member along with Aaron. I'm a former youth governor. I'm a former legislative staff member. I'm a former advisor to the Weingart East LA branch. I'm a former advisor of a youth governor, Joel Estrada. I'm a former advisor of the Guardian Carson YMCA, former presiding officer over Youth Conference of National Affairs. But I am a member and will always be a member of the California Model Legislative Court. I come from a single parent household that derived from Watts. I lived on Central Avenue. I went to 112th Street Elementary on Central Avenue. South Central has been expanded to the urban area, but I grew up in the Nickerson Gardens, which is Watts, where the 65 riots touched off. In that single parent household, I have one older brother, and I have a heroin addict mother, who to this day, because of the help of my friends and family in youth and government, is 27 years clean. To walk into that convention center with 3,000 people standing at their feet until you arrive to your seat except one, and that person being your mom sitting in the front row, was special. But it was also something that was frightening because I saw her nod off. And I knew at that point, we have a problem that I may have some impact on. 6 months after that conference, with the help of, again, family and friends of youth and government, we put my mom in a drug rehab program. I knew while I was standing on stage, passing a pair of heart silk pajama bottoms to Pete Wilson, it's his idea, that she was a drug addict. And here I am going to follow that path? Where I come from, you think this is where you're going to be. Not, I come from one area and I'm going to be here. This program has instilled a number of different things in me that I use today as a man, husband, father, business person, and it is something that is truly special. When I think of life, I love it. I think the greatness of life is something that is completely special, but it comes with a responsibility. And that responsibility that I take, that I was given in this program, is I am responsible for each one of you in this room. I am responsible for each person I come in contact with. Because if I don't impact you in some type of way, I just wasted time, and that's the one thing you can't do with life. When you're here for these 4 days and at Bob, you can't waste any time. You can't waste time making lifelong friends. I was in his wedding, he was at mine. Our kids are the same age. We both started a delegation with 3 of us. I was there for 2 girls, he was there with the foreign exchange students. But with accepting the passion that life is great, I accept that responsibility. This program gave me that insight, that outlook at life, is that I am responsible for the time that I share with you. I am responsible to see you walking across the street and notice you. It also gave me a sense of a belief in myself, understanding that goal setting is everything. I'm a rare youth governor in that I wasn't in the Senate and Assembly. I was in the press program and then the court. And someone said, let's run for governor. I don't know who that was. But it was an absolute experience of a lifetime. But I had to understand within myself, this was something accomplishable. Because as this program has grown in its diversity, it really wasn't at that time. I was one of a very few African Americans. I was from one of the 3 urban YMCAs. But I saw something special. I saw something different from back home. I wanted it. But I got that spirit from watching kids in the program as I covered the program in the press by going to the Senate Assembly, and I was watching them speak on the floor, seeing them argue their points. And in the court program, watching these cases, and Arnold teaching us everything that you needed to be. Like, I wanted to be Blair Underwood from LA Law. I mean, it was just smooth, and I wanted to be smooth too. But it made it believable because I got a chance to actually go in a courtroom and present a case. It wasn't me in the mirror acting like I was Blair Underwood. I was him. I had a case. I had a partner. I was yelling objection at the wrong time. But the program offered me that opportunity. And it also instilled into me, when you set a goal, you set the goal. You have a plan A and you don't look at a plan B because it's nothing but a distraction. The most commonly road traveled to mediocrity is looking at an unrealistic goal. Whether that's a realistic goal. But having a plan A is everything. But if you don't believe in yourself to know that that goal is accomplishable, then you're nowhere. The program gave that to me. I was destined to be here today. I got the call. I told it to my wife. She said, "When is your flight?" She knew it was Valentine's Day. When is your flight? I arrived here yesterday, no bags. You're looking at the latest in fashion and casual. Scott and I was teasing am I going to come up here in shorts and a sweatshirt? Because that's what I had on when I showed up. He couldn't believe it because it's snowing in St. Louis. I said, hey, I was ready for the sun. Shorts, sweatshirt, I'm good. But like a guy that's probably 42 long, he said, you can go to Macy's. Nah. Don't carry myself. But this program means so much to me, I wasn't going to let it stop. I posted on Facebook that I was coming to California. I've been asked to speak. A number of people said something, but I actually cried when I saw one of the comments. It was Pam Shelby. She said, my boy. I'm about to cry now because my second family is here. I have a mother. She is a fighting spirit. But I got a family that is part of this program. Anything that this program should ever ask of me, I owe it to be here. Laying bricks is something that I always tell folks, is that you're not trying to build a brick wall. You're trying to lay a perfect brick and then move on to the next. The program taught me that building a foundation for life is something that you must do. I didn't have the funds to participate in this program. My branch didn't have the funds to push this program. But through block grants and donors like yourselves and people that were involved, I had that opportunity. I had an opportunity to look at a different world, looking at what is realistic and unrealistic. It is unrealistic to walk in a room and hit a switch and lights come on. But thank God it has some thought. It is unrealistic that you're going to bend some metal, put some people on it, and fly over an ocean. Wright brothers and some others thought it was possible. It is unrealistic to think that you're going to bring 3,000 students and volunteers to Sacramento and in 4 hours and 45 minutes get them in code of conduct and off to a session. That is unrealistic. It is unrealistic. A child who has a birth certificate that on their father says unknown. A mother that is a functioning heroin addict. When crack is on the street, you have no idea what heroin is. A community that looks down upon itself. Come to a program and learn what goals are. I was part of a work study group that tracked a high school homeroom class. I am one of 6 that have never been to jail. I'm one of 18 out of 23 that aren't dead. My life is special because I choose to believe it is. My destiny is great because I choose to believe that it is. This program has been that foundation for me. It is that spirit, it is that heart for me. The program has still guided me through life. I want you to take responsibility for this 4 days, or 2 days, or 1 hour that you're going to be here. Absorb the program. Absorb the great people who run the program. Absorb the volunteers. Absorb the folks that have been here before. Get insight into what it is that this program is. Have an opportunity to see the spirit in the eyes of some of these children. And then I want you to think unrealistically. At some point in your time here, someone's going to make an ask. Someone's going to ask you to come back to VIP Day. Someone's going to ask you to be a volunteer. Someone's going to ask you to make a pledge. Be unrealistic to believe that any amount that you give, whether it be time or money, is going to make a difference. Because again, the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity is being realistic. I want you to be unrealistic. I want you to believe that you can make a difference. I want you to be responsible for everyone else. Ensure that there is not a kid like me at home next year. And also enjoy yourself. I thank you for having me here.